So maybe you have dreamed in the past about making passive income, creating online income streams, doing something to make money apart from your job. But you have this thought, if you're like a lot of people, where you think, I don't know, this is probably not possible for me. Like, how would I get started? How would I do it? I'm not a YouTube guru. I don't have any skill. I don't have any particular knowledge about anything. How can I do this and make it work? This is actually something that I hear quite often in the comments and from people who follow this channel when I do a video on how to make passive income or the different passive income streams that I have or online business in general. A lot of times I will have people say, yeah, this sounds great, but I don't have a skill that I can monetize. I don't have anything that I can really make money off of. And I actually got one of these comments recently from someone named Samantha. And what I want to do is I want to show you what I told her, because what she says in her comment and what I said back was a really good transformative moment, I think, for her, where she realized, oh my gosh, I actually do have some skills that I can market. And I think as you watch this, you're gonna find that there are things that you are probably overlooking, skills that you have, talents that you have, abilities that you have that you could teach to other people and monetize that teaching and make a great living off of it. And you might not even have ever considered it because it's something that comes naturally to you. And because it comes naturally, you just don't consider that it's an awesome skill. I want to show you here on this video the comment that I'm referring to. So this is a video I put out a couple of months ago called Passive Income, 7 Ways to Make $240 a Day. So in this video, I just kind of outline, here's the different ways that I'm making money. And at the time I was making $240 a day on average. That's gone up to about $275 a day on average, mostly entirely passive. And so I got this comment right here from Samantha. She said, I'd love to start my own online business, but I don't have any monetizable skills and I don't have any ideas on what to sell. And then she did a sad face. And again, this is incredibly common because very, very rarely do people say, I have monetizable skills, right? Like, I'm so talented and gifted, the world just has yet to see. Most people aren't like that. Most people have what's called imposter syndrome. It's where you kind of think, yeah, everybody else knows what they're doing, but I don't. And it's a really crippling thought. And so for her to just come out and admit, hey, I would love to start my own online business, but I don't have any monetizable skills, you can probably relate. But what's just as important as realizing what monetizable skills you might have is the very first thing she said. I would love to start my own online business, because not everybody wants to, and that's fine. You don't have to want to. I'm speaking to you if you're the type of person who says, I want to live on my own terms. I want to make enough money where I don't have to have a job if I don't want to. I want to be able to create passive income so that I'm making money whether I'm working in the moment or not. And you want all of the freedom that goes with that. If that's you and you have that desire, you're the kind of person that I'm talking to. So you might have that desire where you're like, I want to start an online business. I just don't know what I have that's monetizable. I don't know what I have that's sellable. So here's what I said. I said, this is common. Most people don't realize that they are good at something because it comes so naturally to them. What I mean by that is you have a skill or a talent or an attribute or an ability that comes so naturally to you that it doesn't seem unique. It doesn't seem special because it's your thing. So what you have to do is you have to start asking some questions. And so I said, what do people come to you for advice about? What do you find yourself talking about a lot? Those kinds of questions help you get thinking in that direction. So I gave her 2 questions. What do people come to you for advice about? And what do you find yourself talking about a lot? Go down to the comments right now and answer that first question. What do people come to you for advice about? What do people come to you for advice about? That's a really good place to start with this kind of question. So she responded and said, at Lane Sebring, that's me, hello. Well, I take easily to foreign languages, And I love to travel and explore different regions of the world to learn about cultures. I also love animals and the environment. I could talk about all those things for hours, haha, and then she gave some emojis and some flags and some animals and things like that. What she just expressed there was kind of like, here's all the different things that I do, but I definitely saw a skill, two very important skills. One, she takes easily to foreign languages. That's a big deal. Not everybody does. And two, she loves travel. And if she loves travel and she travels a lot, she probably is pretty good at it. She probably knows more about travel than most people. And she probably could help other people with travel. So here's what I said. I said, at Samantha, you have what it takes. I said, you have what it takes because the desire is there. She wants to start an online business and she has these skills that she has identified. That's important. I'd start a YouTube channel around travel with a specific focus on language. Make it a combination of international travel tips, travel vlogs, like take your camera with you and document the experience, and exploring and appreciating the cultures of the places you're visiting. But here's the kicker. Have a focus on languages and particularly how to adapt to languages when you travel. Really think about how you do it and make notes of what you do. Start making videos on all of that. At the very least, you'll gather an audience of people interested in travel. You'll eventually be able to monetize the channel and you'll make some side income. But if you eventually took it further, you could make courses on how to travel smart, how to adapt to specific languages, do's and don'ts of culture and appreciating culture, etc. And if you love travel and you want to get an online business going, then combine the two and see what happens. Keep me posted. So that's what I told her. And I just want to finish out this conversation. I'll go back to the kind of advice that I'm giving. She said, wow, this is all great information. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback. I will definitely look into this option for getting started. I said, awesome, good luck, keep us posted. Let's go back to the steps that I'm laying out. The first thing I said to do in this is start a YouTube channel around travel with a specific focus on language. Now, she's gonna know more about that than I will. Maybe the focus on language is she has content about when she travels to certain places, how she adapts to the language, how she learns it. Does she study the language before she goes? Does she do full immersion when she gets there? Does she have Google Translate always on her phone, ready to translate whatever she's talking about? Does she ask people to only speak to her in the native language of the area? What does she do? So maybe it's videos that kind of unpack that process that she has over time. And then travel, like travel with language. So I'm going to go to Paris, and so I'm catching up on my French, and here are all the French words that I'm going to memorize before I go. Then I'm going to immerse myself in the culture, whatever. So that's the first thing that I would say. And the reason why I talk about YouTube is because YouTube is such a powerful tool for building a platform. You can easily and quickly gain traction and followers if you're consistent on YouTube. So a video about travel and language every week for a year, she is going to build an audience of people, an audience of subscribers that know her because she's showing up every week, that like her because if they didn't, they wouldn't subscribe, and trust her because she's giving them good and valuable and tested information. If she's doing all three of those things, she's providing that know, like, and trust factor. They know her, they like her, they trust her. She's showing up consistently week after week after week. Then those people are going to begin to see her as the authority on this topic of traveling and language. So make it a combination of international travel tips, travel vlogs, so you can have fun with this where you take your skill and you don't just say, I'm going to go on XYZ trip and here's what I'm going to do. You take us with you. You bring your camera and you show us and not just tell us. Exploring and appreciating the cultures of the places you're visiting. So talk about the foods that you're eating, the people that you're meeting, the things that are different, things like that. And then have a focus on languages and particularly how you adapt to languages when you travel. So I talked about that. This is the idea that you unpack the skill that you have. So if you're watching this and you're saying, okay, travel and language is not my thing is something different. That's great. The first step is identifying what it is. And then the second step is to really try to reverse engineer it, right? If you're good at working in gardens and making plants grow, what is your process? What do you do that just step by step? The first thing you do, is it prepare the soil? Is it buy the right seeds? Is it Make sure that your water schedule is what it needs to be. All these things that you already do, reverse engineer from finished product, right? You grew a plant successfully, and take that all the way back to where you started, which is you had an idea to start a garden, right? And think about, what does that look like? You could apply this to anything. By the way, if you want more detailed, specific instructions on how to do this process, definitely go to lanesebring.com/super simple. You can grab my free super simple guide to your first $500 online. And in that, I lay out the exact steps that you need to take if you want to start monetizing a skill. Asking the right questions, figuring out what you're good at, and then setting up ways of monetizing it. Courses, membership sites, things like that. It's a very simple guide. It's straightforward, but it's also very in-depth. Totally free, lanesebring.com/super simple. So you'll eventually be able to monetize the channel. This is something that I mentioned to her. You'll eventually be able to monetize the channel and you'll make some side income. So at the very least, if she never decides to make courses, if she never decides to have a membership site, if she never decides to sell products, that's fine. Her channel can grow large and you can make pretty good money just off of YouTube ads if you decide to do it that way. I love to add multiple streams of income. I'm just saying you don't have to, especially if this is not going to be your full-time job. But if you eventually took it further, you can make courses on how to travel smart, how to adapt to specific languages. So let's just talk about this one, for example. How to adapt to specific languages when you travel. That could be a course. Could be a short course, a mini course. Maybe you charge $50 for it. And it's for people who are about to go to another country where they don't know the language. And these are the 5, 6, 10 things that you have to do to prepare, and how you can get the most out of learning that language when you travel. That could easily be a course, and the right people who know you, like you, trust you, watch your content, think that you're awesome. If you put that course in front of them and they're going to go travel, there's a percentage of people that will buy and will say, man, her content is awesome. If she's got a course on how to adapt to languages in other countries, I'm buying it, right? If the price is right, the offering's right. And that sounds complicated right now. It sounds like, oh my gosh, that's a lot to think about. But it's one step at a time. The very first step is to start making the free content on YouTube, and then down the road, you get to making the courses. So adapt to specific languages, how to travel smart, how to do's and don'ts of culture. If you travel alone, how to travel alone safely and smart, and how to travel alone efficiently. If you travel with other people, how to do that. So if you love travel, you want to get an online business going, combine the two and see what happens. So this is what I would say to you. Whether your passion is travel, or it's gardening, or it's personal finance, or it's fitness, or it's anything, what you are good at is the place to start when it comes to monetizing your skill, because that's what you know. And if you're talking about what you know, you're going to build that know, like, and trust. People are going to know you, they're going to like you, and they're going to trust you if you do this right. And eventually you can begin to turn this into some real actual money that can separate your time from the work so that you have more autonomy in life, you can live life on your terms, and you can pursue the passions that you want. That's why I'm here. That's why I want to help you do this. So go to lanesebring.com/super simple, pick up your guide there for your first $500 online, and let me know in the comments how I can help you any further. And in the meantime, check out this playlist right here where I'm going to show you exactly how I think through passive income streams in this playlist right here. So go check that out. I'll see you in there and we'll talk further.